Move!
Your Vic was murdered. Cause was multiple stab wounds.
What the hell was that?
We've got our murder weapon.
There was a house in New York where it's had more deaths than any other house in New York City. So it had been on our radar, and the two freelance writers brought in the idea of some kind of house that had booby traps.
We got about a half a dozen special effects that we did on this show, and they all contribute to the mystery of this house, which is a house that kills people.
Sam Harding was an inventor. This room, maybe this entire penthouse, was his greatest creation. This whole house is a murder weapon.
Everything comes from the script. At one point, I sat down with Pam Bizet, and we really just went through each booby trap and worked out exactly what it was and how it would work.
It was the one script where it evolved in pre-production.
We had a concept meeting just about the layout of the apartment. If you look at architecture of New York of that period, you look at some of the great famous New York apartment buildings, the Dakota, the Beresford, all of those sorts of beautiful pre-war buildings that had these enormous apartments. You know, they were like 21-room apartments, that kind of thing, you know, with 16-foot ceilings. And so you start to evolve an architectural style for the set.
It's kind of got a lot of Victorian feel to it. You know, it's still got a lot of molding. It's got a lot of height to the rooms and the mahogany woods.
And then the next person who gets involved then is the set designer, who is actually a draftsman. He starts working out the ground plan. At that point, then, I take it back to the writers and we talk about, you know, is this how it works? Once the working drawings are done, people start work immediately the next day. And this is the foyer. And in this foyer, there are two very important clues. There's the grandfather clock, and also there will be in this frame a portrait of the dead man.
Maybe we're supposed to put it all back together the way it is in the painting.
We basically set up the shot first for the painting. And so we had a photographer, he came in, he shot it, and then it went over to our graphics department where he made it look like an older painting.
Then the next room is the library, which is really the most important room in the whole set.
Whoa!
Which is where we find the mummified body. From a technical standpoint, I weighed in most heavily on, you know, what would this mummy look like after it had been in this environment for, you know, 80, 90 years. And so I had to work with the writers as well as our special effects makeup people on what this body should look like.
The effects team on this show is just incredible. I'm surprised all the time with what they're able to pull off in such a short period of time.
We are blessed with such incredible set designers and set decorators that our suspension of belief is so easy.
Action!
The weapon that comes out of the ceiling, it's actually a very dangerous thing because it has steel teeth. They're 5-6 inches long. So we make those teeth out of steel for when they're looking really closely. But when there's action involved, we made these blades out of leather, and it's painted to match exactly the steel. So if it were to hit you, it just sort of fold over.
Pressure trigger. After the weapon's done its job, the pressure is taken off the trigger and it retracts.
Then, having narrowly escaped death, we then go on through and discover that this bookcase is in fact a secret door, which leads into a secret chamber.
When my daughters came onto the set, my youngest goes, "Mom, can Steve Fiddler come over and make one of those for us? It would be really cool. I could hide back there. Daddy wouldn't find me." I was like, no.
The revolving bookcase, it's a couple Lazy Susan bases. We put a little fishing line on the bottom, and we just pull it, and it hits a little nail in the ground or in the carpet, and it stops.
Harding's throne.
It's the same chair that's in the portrait in the foyer.
So this is the secret room. What happens is the Mac and Stella have to recreate the composition that's in the portrait. So they have to rearrange the furniture until they're all exactly as they are in the portrait. And then they will find the next clue.
Could this be Richard Lawson?
In the script, it might say, oh, the two walls come together, trapping somebody.
Hey, guys! Hey!
And so we worked out exactly which walls came together, how they came together, and how the mechanics of that would work.
So here we are at the outside of the death chamber, which is the room that had the walls that moved in. This is the back side. You've seen the front side, and here's how the walls move. We have 2 people there pushing them. I mean, if it was Disneyland, they'd have motors and chains and things because they do it 50 times a day, and we're only going to do it like 4 times.
What is this place? Whatever it is, it burned the victim alive.
On the other side of one of the walls is a copper panel, and there's a heater there, and it heats up and it basically bakes the person.
Usually when we're dealing with burn victims, they've been exposed to actual flames or fire, and so the body is charred. This one is more unique because it was almost analogous to like if you put a turkey in an oven, as opposed to, you know, if you throw a steak on the barbecue.
Death by knife, death by fire. Paula Davis is up there, she's drowning.
It's such a large apartment. There are so many rooms and so many hallways and passages that we literally didn't have enough room left on this stage to build it all. So we broke off that one bedroom and put it on a separate stage.
That's an odd size and place for the only window in the room, don't you think?
We need a ladder.
This dresser is not your standard dresser. The dresser works like this. These are steps, and I can stand on these, and you can just go right on up. And this is his ladder. This is just regular particle board wood, but it's been painted as grained wood. This is the back side of the same dresser. These are those same drawers that you saw. These are those drawer slides on a drawer in your kitchen, but these are good for 300 pounds each. So we made it very strong so we could have, you know, a human walking on it.
Paula Davis, are you in there?
She's still alive.
This room has a water tank behind the wall. We're going to reveal that with the removal of a picture on the wall and about 600 gallons of water coming out with the victim.
The advantage to that was also because there's a water gag involved with that set, we would just get that set flooded and we wouldn't have to flood the whole penthouse.
We just want to not do damage to the stage. So the set had to be built waterproof and contain it in here. Outside this wall here is a dump tank. When we get the cue, this wheel will turn around and it has an opening on it, and the water will dump out down the chute so that the water would come into the set. And then we'll put the victim in, who happens to be a gymnast who's real agile and can tumble around.
I think the most important thing about this particular set, it's probably the most complex set that we've done in a very long time. And what's been wonderful about it is it's been a complete coming together of all the departments, all of us working together.
Everybody put so much work into just trying to make it a big, beautiful death house.
That's why I invited you to my home. I invested my unrewarded ingenuity and hard work into making this place a lesson in pain